Yeah,
So
it
moving
seems like,
on,
right?
what do you think of the situation with MLW and WWE?
So I actually reached out to Court Bauer. A little backstory on this, guys. WWE reached out to MLW talent because MLW now has TV on BN Sports. And no matter the size, small or large, apparently, if you get on TV, WWE gets pissing their Cheerios and they're like, shit, let's get everybody. Let's prevent. Unless they smoke weed, then we won't hire them.
It's basically the 80s all over again. That's what it is.
So weird. So they contacted some MLW talent, and Court Bauer, the owner of MLW, was actually there while they did it.
In New Orleans.
And in New Orleans.
And what was Court Bauer's job back in the day?
He was a writer for WWE.
Exactly.
And he told them, hey, these guys are under contract, as did the people under contract, and the effort was still made on WWE's behalf to do it. So Court Bauer told me in the exclusive story we reported on Fightful.com that he has notified them via the proper channels to kind of cut the shit out.
So I think if I learned anything through the Mike Awesome situation, and anybody that wasn't a fan of wrestling then, and actually Nigel and Melissa, both of them. So back in the day, there was 3 major promotions, WWE, WCW, and ECW. Those were the big 3 in the U.S. The champion of ECW was a guy by the name of Mike Awesome. He was under contract to ECW. While he was under contract to ECW, he showed up on television with WCW. And WCW's mentality was, well, we're owned by Time Warner at the time, and ECW was low on money, and fuck them. That was more or less the mentality. Wow. And so they ended up cutting a deal by which Mike Awesome had to go back to ECW to drop the title on television. And ECW tried to outsmart WCW by actually partnering up with WWE and getting a WWE talent to win the title for Mike Awesome.
Sure.
Which was Taz, of course. The reason I'm bringing this up is
because Shane Strickland's going to show up on Raw with the MLW title.
Right. No, the reason I'm bringing it up is because if WWE wants an MLW talent bad enough, they're going to get them. And that's just how it is.
I mean,
and
eventually.
No, they'll get them whenever they want them. If there's a guy, who gives a shit, Sean? What's MLW going to do?
Buy him out? Yeah, they could buy him out, but other than that, they're contractually obligated.
Okay, so what? MLW, Sean, in terms of finances, all right? And I'm just giving you the corporate truth about things because this is the corporate truth. MLW, in terms of finances, all right, is basically this cup of water right here.
Contracts are pretty black and white. WWE does not like to have anything to do with contract tampering.
Here's my point. My point is if WWE chooses to do things the right way, which they probably will, because it's not like MLW's got Brock Lesnar under contract, right? So if WWE chooses to do things the right way, which they probably will, nothing's going to happen. Right? If WWE decides we really want that guy, they're going to get that guy. And
contracts are pretty black and white, man. They have never been interested in contract tampering.
With all due respect, Sean, don't be a moron, okay? Because I'm going to tell you one more time, they're probably going to do
when
things
has
the right
WWE
way.
Ever been interested in contract tampering?
No, this is not contract tampering.
Yeah, it is. If they are under contract for multiple years, as reported,
Sean, you're not this fucking stupid. All right? This is not contract tampering.
How is that not fucking contract tampering?
Okay, if you'll stop yelling, I'll explain it to you, you idiot, all right? This is not contract tampering. What this would be is Vince McMahon telling Court Bauer, I want that guy, I'm taking that guy, here's a check, shut the fuck up, and I'm taking him.
Just like I said 12 minutes ago. A buyout.
Not a buyout. It wouldn't be a buyout.
That is the definition of a buyout.
No, it's not.
That is a buyout of a contract.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
That is literally the definition.
No, because I guarantee you that these MLW guys, Sean, they're being probably paid per taping. All right? These contracts do not have an annual value to them. They're probably being paid per taping, right? So there is no annual value to these contracts, Sean. There isn't. They're probably being paid per taping.
That is literally what I just said.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yes.
No, this is not like the NHL, Sean, where somebody signs for $8 million a year over 10 years, $80 million, right? That's not what this is.
Buying somebody's contract is still a buyout.
No, they're not. They wouldn't be buying the contract. They wouldn't be, because it's completely different. In WWE, you're paid a certain value for a certain period of time. MLW, it's probably a per diem per taping.
Probably.
It's not the same thing.
You don't know.
Oh, it's not the same thing, Sean.
Probably.
No.
So you don't know.
It's not the same thing.
Just calling the guy that's been talking to Court Bauer a fucking idiot, reporting shit for your site.
No, I'm not calling him an idiot. I'm not calling him an idiot. What I'm saying...
you're calling me an idiot.
Well, I did because sometimes you talk when you don't necessarily understand everything, Sean.
Sometimes
I want to educate you, Sean.
And hasn't been reading up on the contract situation, hasn't been talking to MLW, hasn't been following the news of the situation.
So what is the MLW contract situation?
I told you the situation. They extended information to WWE saying, piss off contacting our contracted talent.
I understand. I'm saying, how are the contracts structured in MLW, Sean?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
But you just said you do. You just said you do.
I said I've been talking to Court Bauer. When's the last time you talked to anybody from MLW?
I don't need to talk to anybody from MLW.
No, you can assume it and call your managing editor an idiot on the air instead.
I'm not calling you...
Instead of letting me do my fucking job!
I'm not calling you an idiot in general terms today.
Did.
Not today.
After I said to you, WWE could very well offer a buyout of the contract, offer them some form of money to say, okay, yeah, maybe that guy's not worth it, and we'll take the buyout instead. Of course they could.
Yeah, but I don't consider
it. Looked at people to do that on Fightful and say, hey, maybe if you don't want to do this anymore, we can buy you out of that. That shit happens all the time.
Fine, I guess it's semantics. I don't consider it a buyout.
It's the same thing.
I don't consider it a buyout because they're probably paid per diem for a certain number of tapings, and it would be WWE. Honestly, it'd be them giving Court Bauer like cash in a briefcase kind of thing. The talent would be completely separate.
Well, I mean, but then the talent would then get a WWE contract.
Exactly.
But I mean, the thing is, they can't just walk in there willy nilly. If for some reason a talent doesn't want to go to WWE. I don't know their motivations, but just because they're working for MLW doesn't mean their ultimate goal is to go to WWE. For some it might. The majority probably is. But like,
are there any that wouldn't want to go to WWE?
Shane Strickland can't. He's working for Lucha Underground. So they can't walk in there and say we want Shane Strickland and Pentagon. They're under contracts elsewhere.
Yeah, they have more money too, right?
I'm sure they do, but I mean there are a lot of people on that roster that doesn't work for. Like, they can't just do that. MLW had to stop using Matt Riddle because he's under a WWN deal. Like, there are a lot of people on this roster that just handing MLW or Court Bauer a check just would not work for.
Yeah, because of other contracts that they have.
Sure.
What I'm saying, all I meant was...
Their needs, their desires, any of that stuff.
Sure. All I meant was if there's a guy WWE really wanted to go to WWE, a contract wouldn't stop it.
Well... Not if they went to MLW and said, here's some money.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, because WWE's not contacting those people anymore for a reason.
Right, sure.
Because they were told to piss off because contracts matter. If they didn't have a contract, WWE would have said, tough shit, we're signing them anyway.
Sure, but my point was, even with the contract, if they wanted them bad enough, they'd find a way to get them.
Maybe.
They would. Your door just opened again by itself.
Maybe. Well, my door's a fucking idiot that doesn't know how to do its job and doesn't understand MLW's contract. We won't worry about that.
When WCW wanted Mike Awesome, right? When they wanted Mike Awesome, they took him. They had to give ECW money out of the deal, and they had to agree to have him go there to drop the title. But ultimately, they wanted it bad enough, and they paid for it. WWE would do the same thing.
That was 18 years ago.
Yeah, so?
That was a long time ago.
So does that mean that contracts have changed in 18 years?
It's pretty widely known that most of the ECW stuff was verbal, like handshake deals, stuff like that.
No, by then he had a contract because there was TV involved. He had a contract.
There were a lot of people on TV back then under handshake deals.
He was not. He had a contract.
Well, maybe you can talk to Mike Awesome about that one.
Okay, now that's mean. That's mean. So just so you guys know, Mike Awesome has passed away.
Oh.
See? Nigel thought that was mean too.
No, Nigel said, oh, don't speak for Nigel.
You didn't see this, Sean? Nigel was looking at a picture of you, and he gave the picture the finger.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
We need to talk about more subjects like this.
Like what?
I don't know. We lost viewers, probably because you're rude.
No, I was just trying to...
be the most engaged live chat
I was just trying to explain the corporate underground to you, Sean. That's all I was trying to do. I was trying to explain the corporate underground. Yes.
It's a company that's got $2 billion worth of TV deals. Of course they can afford anyone they want.
Of course. And of course they would take anyone they want.
Change. If AJ Styles, they had a lot of money in 2001 too. You know what the thing was? AJ Styles didn't want to move his wife away from her college. You never know what's going to motivate somebody.
I mean, he also was offered developmental, though.
That's right,
That's
he
a
was.
big difference.
But Kenny Omega, haven't they tried to sign him? He had a standing offer.
He was in developmental, wasn't he?
And he left of his own volition.
Yeah,
and he has a standing offer to appear, or basically to go there whenever he wants.
Yeah.
They tried to get Bad Luck Fale. They tried to get Tama Tonga. And they said, nope. Doesn't always work like that.
No, sure it doesn't. All I'm saying is an MLW contract's
so I'm
not going
right.
to stop him.
FightfulSelect.com.
He really isn't. He really isn't.
Extended coming up next. Jimmy, what do you have going on this week?
So tomorrow we're having a team event. And it's going to be something very interesting. And there's been a little bit of controversy in the company because some people, because they don't know what it is or they don't understand it, they almost don't want to do it.
This show. Oh, you all are going to talk about MLW contracts. Some people don't understand it, huh?
You're really bothered by this. He's really bothered by this. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, I you know what, Sean? I apologize that I had to, tell you about the corporate underground and how MLW contracts don't mean shit in that regard.
Hey,
I apologize.
I had to make you feel like you didn't know anything because you don't.
Oh, no, I definitely do. I definitely do. For sure. This is why, in this case, Vince McMahon, Court Bauer. There you go.